Hey guys, today I'll be talking about Why We Sleep, Unlocking the Power of Sleep and Dreams by Matthew Walker, a leading sleep scientist in today's time and age. Essentially, I've read the book, took some notes in the book, and applied some concepts from this book into my life. And I want to talk about it. Sleep is as essential to life as is water, food, and oxygen. Every living form being on this planet sleeps. It kind of puts in perspective how important sleep actually is. There's a whole bucket list of things that are of consequences of lack of sleep, so I'm just going to read them out to you. Increases chances of developing Alzheimer's disease, depression, obesity, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, ages you, and messes with your T levels or testosterone. Not only that, but it also affects your mental and physical state. And that's just not good. So what can we start doing? What can we do to counteract these effects of lack of sleep? And well, for one, you can start prioritizing sleep. Making it a priority in our life to get 8 hours of sleep every single day. Easier said than done, but just to exemplify how much this could really improve your mental and physical state. In the NBA, and this is an example from the book, and there's also examples from other sports leagues, but in the NBA there's a player called Iguodala. Basically, they put him in a regimen where he started sleeping 8 hours a day, and the stats were very clear. His performance in all aspects of basketball increased, which is just it makes a difference. There's a significant difference when you start taking serious your sleep schedule. 2, sleep hygiene, or the factors that go into, having better sleep at night. The author actually left the 12 factors or 12 things we could do to improve our sleep hygiene in this book. You could also find it online. Hopefully I can link it down below, but I'll go ahead and read some of them for you. 1, stick to a sleep schedule. The same time you go to sleep is the same time you want to wake up every single day. So go to sleep at 11, make sure to wake up at 7 every single day, and make that your priority. At 11 to 7, that's your bedtime. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. Just make that your sleep schedule and be consistent Monday through Sunday, no skipping days, weekends and weekdays. 2, exercise. Essentially, sleep, if you're going to work out, back to the previous example, if you're going to go to sleep at 11, make sure to work out 2 to 3 hours prior, so around 8 or 7. Work out, finish your workout by then, so you could sleep, because I think the explanation he gives in the book is that working out increases your heat. It heats up your body, and our body is better suited for sleeping in a colder environment. So yeah, that's actually another factor. I'm pretty sure he mentions is, have a colder room. It's recommended on average. It's different for everybody, but on average, a room temperature of 65 is best for sleeping. Personally, in my house, I don't own this house. I'm still living with my mom. She sets it low as 70, and I ain't touching it because I don't pay electric bills in this place. So I still make do. I got 2 fans, one my ceiling fan and my little fan I got over here, and I sleep naked. I sleep in my underwear, and it's what works for me. I can really feel the difference when I'm colder. I tend to sleep faster. Drinking caffeine in the late in the afternoons, or alcohol, any substance that could potentially keep you awake, just avoid it. If it's getting close to your bedtime, just nah. Funny thing in the book, he actually doesn't recommend it, but he kind of makes a joke to it. If you're gonna drink alcohol, do it in the morning, not at night, which is pretty funny. Because essentially, when you're sleeping while drunk, you're not actually sleeping. You're more sedated. You're knocked out, anesthesia type vibes. So you're not getting the benefits of sleep. You are sleeping, but none of the benefits of REM and non-REM sleep. Avoid large meals before sleeping, because digestion takes energy. If your body's using its energy to digest food, and let's say there's a problem in that digestion, it causes indigestion, causes you to have less quality of good sleep. Another one, don't take naps past 3 p.m. I've been following this my whole life. I actually don't take naps past 4 p.m. If it's past 4 p.m. I just dug it out. I ain't sleeping, because I know it's going to mess with my sleep schedule, and I've kind of prioritized sleep my whole life, so I could attest to this. Relax before you sleep, and this is very essential. Avoid LED lights. In the book, it actually shows studies he did that like people who read on their iPad compared to their books, like physical books, showed decreased quality of sleep, and it's because of the lights, the LED lights. So like an hour or so before sleep, wind down and do something relaxing that's away from LED lights, or like if you do need to be in an LED light environment, or phone or something to relax, make sure it's not blue light, it's the opposite spectrum, whatever that is. Reduce the effects of that. Take hot showers or bath before you sleep. And I know I mentioned earlier, don't work out before because it heats up your body. Essentially, the difference between a hot shower and like working out is when you take a hot shower, your body's actively cooling its internal system. So your skin becomes hot, but that's temporary. But your internals are cooling down, and when you finish your like short hot shower, you should be at a cooler internal temperature. Make sure to manage your circadian rhythm. Essentially, expose yourself to light. You first wake up in the morning, like 30 minutes minimum in a day, so your body knows it's daytime now and not nighttime. And that really helps you get into the cycle of things. And lastly, and this is something that I've got to get better at, don't lie awake in bed. Just, if it's been past 20 minutes, get up and just start doing something else. Something that's not going to wake you up. Essentially, read a book, just meditate. If you like drawing, start drawing. Do something relaxing rather than like tossing and turning and like making life miserable. All right, so that exhausts the sleep hygiene list. Now we're going to number 3, and this one's really, really cool, is dream about your problems. There are 2 types of general sleep. There's non-REM sleep and REM sleep. Non-REM sleep helps with memory consolidation. Plays a big part in why taking naps is so effective, because you tend to have non-REM sleep in the first parts of your sleep cycle, right? The majority of your dreaming REM sleep is towards the tail end of your sleep. So like after 6 hours, at the last 2 hours, 7-8 hour of sleep is when you have majority of your dreams. However, REM sleep helps with creativity and empathy. This is straight from the book, which was to me very profound. Essentially, one of the coolest insights from the book. REM sleep is clearly needed in order for us to heal emotional wounds. Essentially, what he's referring in the book, if you dream about, let's say, a past trauma, to keep it simple, something we could all somewhat relate to, a significant other that perhaps has hurt you in the past, dreaming about it is actually a good thing. It's your mind's attempt of self-healing, and dreaming about a certain topic, it's your mind trying to make sense of it, and you should just embrace it. I find that really cool. I could testify to dreaming about solving problems. I remember when I was learning how to trade, and I'm still learning how to trade, forever students, trading the financial markets. And essentially, it got to a point where I would only think about trading day in and day out, and eventually it came into my dreams. I was dreaming about trading. Around that same period of, when I started dreaming about trading, was at the same time when I started making sense of the financial markets. Trading from one day to the next just started making sense. And I didn't know at the time it was because I was dreaming about it. I thought it was because I was putting in the minutes and hours every single day. And yes, that plays a big part of it, but dreaming about it was the nail in the coffin. And that's awesome. So yeah, dream to solve your problems. Number four, take advantage of your circadian rhythm. Essentially, in the book, he mentions it early on, that a lot of records have been set, in the early afternoons, which is usually the points where people have their circadian rhythm at the highest and their sleep pressure the lowest. You just have peak performance in early afternoons. And for that to make sense, it's usually when you wake up 3 hours later. So let's say in our previous example, we wake up at 7, around 10 or 11 is when you should be having peak performance. So how can you apply that to your life? Make that the points where you want to write your essays, solve your biggest puzzles, or hit your PRs. you're performing, baby. That's your time. That's your, like, I'm ready to go. Alright, so those are the 4 tips you can start using today to start improving your life and reach your goals. Well, now we're just going to go to the book review. We're going to talk about my thoughts on this book. If it isn't already clear, I think this book was immensely helpful. I would say it's easy to read. It's a good read. It's at times kind of like, drawn out and boring unless you're really into the science of things. If you like the science, you're gonna really enjoy this. This book is broken out down in 4 parts. Part 1, this thing called sleep, is he essentially breaks down how and why we sleep, which is, the title of the book. Talks about melatonin and what it actually is, our circadian rhythm, and sleep pressure. Those are like the 3 things that are the most important, my takeaways from that section. Part 2, why you should sleep, basically just goes into all the negative, bad things of like losing sleep. And I told you a list of it, and they go into detail, research-backed data of like actually why losing sleep is terrible for you. Part 3, how and why we dream. This part was easily my favorite. That's where I got the insight of like creativity and empathy and how you could use it to solve your problems. Awesome. And last part, sleeping pills and society transformed. I would say my least favorite part of the book, however, still quite interesting. Basically talks about how society has like this weird perception of sleep, that it's lazy, it's not productive, and he wants to kind of shift that notion to more of like a positive tone. It's like, yeah, go to sleep, bro, that's good for you, rather than like that negative connotation that we currently have. Yeah, that is all. That's my book review. I have to give it a rating, do I? That's like what people do. Ratings. Ooh, ratings. I give it a 7.8 out of 10. Very arbitrary, I would say. But, it's above a 5, which means it's above average. It was a great book. There's no doubting it. It isn't perfect at times. I did get bored, like I said, but, it is what it is, It's a top tier book for sure. We're gonna have this in my arsenal of books that I recommend people. So we'll be posting once a week. Thanks for watching.